Assalamu alaikum. I'm Nafiz Imtiazuddin welcoming you to News at 10 on BTV, BTV World and BTV Chattogram Centre. You've just had the headlines. We have details of those and other stories coming up. Describing the COVID-19 pandemic as a litmus test for global solidarity, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said the world needs to frame an inclusive, sustainable and holistic post-COVID-19 recovery plan for expansion of trade, business and investment for common prosperity. She said this while addressing the Qatar Economic Forum today on a virtual platform. In her recorded video message, the Prime Minister placed a 6-point suggestion to frame post-COVID-19 economic recovery plan for shared prosperity.
Strong global cooperation to overcome this difficult time. As we are witnessing the challenges, we need to take immediate, collective and concerted actions together to help mitigate the impact of the pandemic through expanding trade, business and investment for our common prosperity. We need an inclusive, sustainable and holistic recovery plan for shared prosperity. In order to ensure sustainable and equitable order after the pandemic, we need whole of the world approach now.
Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Georgian Prime Minister Irakli Garibashvili, among others, also delivered video messages. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said her government's planned measures for the country's development have put Bangladesh into one of the top 3 performers on the Sustainable Development Goals SDGs Index score. The Prime Minister said this while unveiling the cover of a memorial book titled Durjog Jhuki Rashe Bangabandhu in Disaster Risk Reduction. She joined virtually an ECADC meeting from Ganobhabon. Describing the measures taken by Bangabandhu in addressing any disaster as a milestone for Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina said that her government had been taking every measure to face disasters following the footsteps of Bangabandhu.
শেখ মুজিবুর রহমানের সেই পদক্ষেপ অনুসরণ করেই কিন্তু আমরা এদেশের মানুষকে বাঁচাতে সক্ষম হয়েছি এবং ঘূর্ণিঝড় বা জলোচ্ছ্বাস বা যে কোনো প্রাকৃতিক দুর্যোগ মোকাবেলা করবার মতো আত্মবিশ্বাস আমরা পেয়েছি এবং তার পরিকল্পনা বা এটা করার যে উদ্যোগ সেটাও আমরা নিতে পেরেছি। এটা আমাদের জন্য শুধু না, বিশ্বের যে কোনো দুর্যোগ প্রবণ এলাকার জন্য অনুকরণীয়। এমডিজি সেটা বাস্তবায়নেও কিন্তু বাংলাদেশ অনেক অগ্রগামী ছিল, আর এসডিজির ক্ষেত্রেও আমরা সেই পথে এগিয়ে যাচ্ছি। এসডিজি বাস্তবায়নে বিশ্বের 3টি দেশের মধ্যে বাংলাদেশ অন্যতম অবস্থানে আছে। আমাদের সুষ্ঠু পরিকল্পনা, সুনির্দিষ্ট দিক দর্শন আছে এবং আমরা সেই পরিকল্পিতভাবে এগোচ্ছি বলে এটা অর্জন সম্ভব।
Chief of Army Staff General Aziz Ahmed paid a farewell call on President Mohammad Abdul Hamid at Bangabandhu this evening. President's Press Secretary Mohammad Zainul Abidin said that during the meeting, the outgoing army chief apprised the president of overall activities, especially various steps taken during his tenure for the development of Bangladesh Army. He also expressed gratitude to the president for extending all-out cooperation in discharging his duties. President Mohammad Abdul Hamid lauded the activities taken by the outgoing army chief, General Aziz Ahmed, to turn Bangladesh Army into a modern force and thanked him for completion of his tenure successfully. President's Office Secretary Shampud Borwa, Military Secretary Major General S.M. Salahuddin Islam and Secretary Attached Wahidul Islam Khan were present. Strict lockdown is in effect in 7 districts surrounding Dhaka for 9 days in order to tackle the spread of the coronavirus. The districts include Narayanganj, Ghazipur, Munshiganj, Manikganj, Rajbari, Madaripur and Gopalganj. The measures will remain in place until 12 midnight on the 30th of June. Public transports on road, rail and riverways also remain suspended. BIWTA has suspended launch communications to and from the capital during the lockdown. However, emergency services will remain outside the purview of these restrictions. Health experts have welcomed the decision of the government to protect Dhaka from the deadly virus. Most border districts of the country are being battered by COVID-19. Numbers of infections and deaths are on the rise in those places. The virus is spreading to adjacent areas from those districts. In the meantime, restrictions have been imposed in a number of border districts to contain the intensity of the deadly pathogen. Test-basis vaccination program of Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine has been completed. The vaccines were given to 360 people at Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib Medical University, Sheikh Rasal Gastro-Liver Institute and Hospital, and Kurmitola General Hospital in the capital yesterday. All of them are well, those that have taken the vaccine, and so far, said the doctors. After 7 to 10 days of observation, Pfizer vaccines will be given to the people across the country. IEDCR sources say antibody has been generated in their bodies, and they've taken the second dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine earlier. An ICDDRB research said antibody was generated in the bodies of the people of the capital Dhaka up to 71%, while 55% in Chittagong without vaccine inoculation. ICDDR conducted the research among 3,220 people over the last 5 months. Foreign Minister Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen said today COVID-19 vaccine has apparently become another tool of exploitation, noting that some rich countries were holding back vaccine doses beyond their internal demands. He made the remarks while talking to reporters at his office at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
ধনিক দেশগুলো সব কোভিডের ভ্যাকসিন নিয়ে বসে আছে, তাদের নিজেদের লোকে ইউজের থেকে বেশি, এবং অনেকগুলো দেশে এই ভ্যাকসিন এক্সপায়ার হয়ে যাচ্ছে। মজার মজার কথা শুনি যে আপনারা কোন চিন্তা করেন না, আমরা এইগুলো দেব, কিন্তু কেউ দেয় না। আর দেওয়ার আগে আবার জিজ্ঞেস করে অমুক জিনিসে আপনারা আমাকে সাপোর্ট দিবেন কিনা। হ্যাঁ, it has become, it looks like another tool.
76 COVID-19 patients died, and 4,846 new cases were traced in the last 24 hours in the country. Directorate General of Health Services, DGHS, in its routine daily statement today, said the death toll had risen to 13,702 from coronavirus, and the tally of infections had risen to 8,61,150. The recovery count rose to 7,88,385 after another 2,903 patients recovered today. The statement said 19.36% of 25,028 samples tested positive. DGHS statistics showed people infected from the beginning, 91.55% recovered and 1.59% died. The statement said of the 76 dead, 1 was between 21 to 30 years, 8 between 31 to 40 years, 7 between 41 to 50 years, 23 were between 51 to 60, while 37 were above 60 years of age. 42 out of the 76 people who died were male, while 34 were female. DGHS informed that 14 people died in Dhaka Division, 10 died in Chattogram Division, 14 died in Rajshahi Division, 27 died in Khulna Division, 2 died in Borishal Division, 3 died in Sela Division, and 6 died in Rangpur Division. The 72nd founding anniversary of Bangladesh Awami League is tomorrow. The party has taken up limited-scale programs marking its founding anniversary, of course, because of the corona pandemic in the country. Established in 1949 as Awami Muslim League at Rose Garden in the old city of Dhaka on this day, and later on the party was paired as Awami League. To mark the day, national and party flags will be hoisted at central and party offices throughout the country at sunrise. Tributes will be paid at the portrait of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, in front of the Bangabandhu Bhavan at 9 a.m. Tributes will be paid at the graveyard of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, at Tungipara in Gopalganj on behalf of the Awami League Central Executive Council at 10:30 a.m. Awami League will also organize a discussion at its central office at city's Bangabandhu Avenue at 4 p.m. Awami League President and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina will address the discussion as a chair from her official residence, Ganabhavan, on the day. Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir has called all the leaders, workers and supporters of the party and its associate bodies to observe the programs at district and upazila levels on a limited scale amid following the pandemic health guidelines. Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obaidul Qadir has urged Dhaka Metropolitan Police and the two city corporations to be more strict in stopping the plying of easy bike and battery-run rickshaws in the capital. The minister made the call while presiding over the board meeting of Dhaka Transport Authority this morning. He joined the board meeting online from his official residence in the capital, urging them to finalize project proposal after discussion with the two city corporations to update Inner Ring Road Eastern Bypass and Western part through Dhaka Transport Authority. The Road Transport and Bridges Minister said multi-storied building of Dhaka's Transport Authority will have to be built after discussion with Rajuk for traffic clearance. Dhaka North City Corporation Mayor Muhammad Atiqul Islam, South City Corporation Mayor Barrister Sheikh Fazlin Taposh, Narayanganj City Corporation Mayor Selina Hayat Ivy, Lawmaker Nazrul Islam Babu, Shagufta Yasmin Emily, Dhaka Transport Authority Executive Director Khondokar Rokibur Rahman, secretaries of various ministries and the DMP Commissioner attended the meeting. The minister said there was no scope of digging in Dhaka City Corporation area without coordination.
আজকে বাংলাদেশের চারদিকে যে উন্নয়নের যে জোয়ার নেমেছে, আজকে এই দেশে যে দেশ নিজস্ব অর্থায়নে পদ্মা সেতু করতে পারে সেই দেশের রাজধানী আনলিভেবল সিটি কেন হবে? এইসব বিষয়গুলো জটিলতাগুলো অবসান না হলে আনলিভেবল হয়ে থাকবে। ওই যে দামাস্কাসের মতো, তারপরে নাইজেরিয়ার লাগোসের মতো এই অবস্থা বাংলাদেশও থাকবে। দুই সিটি, দুই মেয়র অত্যন্ত উদ্যমী মানুষ, উদ্যোগী পুরুষ, তারা চেষ্টা করছেন, তাদের মধ্যে তারুণ্য আছে, তারুণ্যের ভাবনা আছে, গ্রিন অ্যান্ড ক্লিন সিটি করার তাদের প্ল্যান আছে। আমার মনে হয় এটা আমাদের কার্যকর করতে আমাদের সকলের সহযোগিতা করা উচিত।
Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir termed BNP as the mastermind of all malevolence and intrigues in the country's politics. He said BNP does not want stability in the country. It wants to establish a reign of terrorism.
শেখ হাসিনা সরকার কর্তৃত্ববাদী নন, কারো উপর হিংস্র আচরণও এ পর্যন্ত করার কোনো নজির নেই। বরং মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী বিরোধী দলের নানান উস্কানির মুখেও অত্যন্ত সহনশীলতা, ধৈর্যের পরিচয় দিয়ে যাচ্ছে। এদেশে রাজনীতিতে হিংস্রতা আর ষড়যন্ত্রের হোতা বিএনপি। সাম্প্রদায়িক অপশক্তিকে সাথে নিয়ে তারাই দানবীয় আচরণ করেছে। গত ২৬ মাস এদেশের মানুষ তা দেখেছে। আমি বিএনপি নেতাদের বলতে চাই, শেখ হাসিনার সহনশীলতা এবং মানবিকতাকে দুর্বলতা ভাববেন না। শেখ হাসিনার উদারতা দেখে ভাববেন না এ আমাদের দুর্বলতা। নির্বাচনের মাধ্যমে ক্ষমতায় যেতে পারবে না বুঝতে পেরেই আপনারা নানামুখী ষড়যন্ত্র করছেন। আমরা স্পষ্ট বলে দিতে চাই, নির্বাচন ছাড়া সরকার গঠনের আর কোনো বিকল্প পথ নেই। জনগণ চাইলে নির্বাচিত হবেন। বাংলাদেশ আওয়ামী লীগ জনগণের ক্ষমতায়নে বিশ্বাস করে বলেই আমরা জনগণের প্রতি আস্থাশীল।
Now international news. COVID-19 global death toll surpassed 38,91,000 with 6,057 new deaths and total corona case tally rising to over 17,96,70,000 today. The United States, the worst corona-affected country in the world, has now over 3,44,19,000 confirmed cases and more than 6,17,000 deaths. Meanwhile, the death toll in India climbed to over 3,89,302, with more than 846 new deaths, and the total tally of COVID-19 cases there is now over 2,99,77,000, with 39,096 new cases. The European Union on Monday added 8 officials from Myanmar's military and 3 firms linked to the military to its sanctions blacklist over the country's February coup and bloody repression of protests. Those targeted with asset freezes and visa bans included the Interior, Security, Finance, Natural Resources and Transport Ministers, according to listings published in the EU's official journal. The 27-nation bloc put the state-run gem and timber enterprises on the list as they look to cut off key revenues to the military government. It also added the Myanmar War Veterans Organization, which acts as a reserve force for the military, to the blacklist. London also announced sanctions on the same companies as well as the military government's ruling body, the State Administration Council. The Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office said the move to curb trade in the 2 high-value commodities would deprive the generals of millions in revenue. More than 8,500 children were used as soldiers last year in various conflicts across the world, and nearly 2,700 others were killed, the United Nations said on Monday. UN Chief Antonio Guterres' annual report to the Security Council on children in armed conflict covers the killing, maiming and sexual abuse of children, abduction or recruitment, denial of aid access and targeting of schools and hospitals as well. The report verified that violations had been committed against 19,379 children in 21 conflicts. The most violations in 2020 were committed in Somalia, Democratic Republic of Congo, Afghanistan, Syria and Yemen. Now weather. The weather forecast says, due to monsoon, light to moderate rain or thunder showers accompanied by temporary gusty wind is likely to occur at most places over Chattogram and Silla divisions, and at many places over Rajshahi, Rangpur, Dhaka, Moimunshing, Khulna and Borishal divisions, with moderately heavy to heavy rainfall at isolated places over the country. Met Office said day and night temperatures may remain nearly unchanged all over the country. And now news from the world of sport. Argentina beat Paraguay by 1-0 and secured its place in the Copa America knockout stage for the first team. Alejandro Gomez scored the lone goal for Argentina in the 10th minute of the match. The result at the main Garrincha Stadium in Brasilia moved Argentina atop Group A with 7 points from 3 matches. The game also gave Lionel Messi a record 117 caps for the national team, equaling the mark of retired defender Javier Mascherano. Chile, which also advanced to the quarterfinals, is second in the group with 5 points after the 1-1 draw with Uruguay. And now, before we end the news, let's take a look at what's making the headlines here. Strong global cooperation needed to overcome effects of corona pandemic, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at Qatar Economic Forum. People of Bangladesh now able to combat natural disasters, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at ECADC meeting. Strict lockdown imposed in 7 districts surrounding the capital to prevent spread of corona infection. Inter-district buses, trains and water transports to remain suspended. Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obaidul Qadir asks DMP and the 2 city corporations to be strict in banning easy bikes and battery-powered rickshaws in the capital. The 72nd founding anniversary of Awami League tomorrow. US to give 1.60 crore doses of corona vaccines to 18 countries, including Bangladesh, says White House. And Argentina beat Paraguay to 1-0 to secure a knockout spot in Copa America football. And that's all the news from the newsroom at the moment. Thank you for staying with us, and we invite you to join us again at 11:30 for our news in Bangla. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.